Good morning and welcome back to At Home with Kayla Price. I'm Kayla, and if you are a regular watcher, you know I have been absent for a few weeks, and for that I do apologize. I had gone with my husband to Joplin, and I thought I might miss a week, but it ended up just snowballing. So I am back, and I do not plan to do that again because I did miss talking with you and learning from you. So today I wanted to talk about 10 ways to keep your feet happy. And if you are very young with no foot problems, then you're a very lucky person. If you are older with no foot problems, then you are definitely a lucky person. And possibly my foot issues came from doing really stupid things when I was younger, such as standing on my toes, pretending to be a ballerina without toe shoes. And I remember I was doing that up until college because that was kind of like my stupid human trick. So that could possibly be why I have some arthritis in my feet now, but who knows? Anyway, I am going to tell you what I have learned, and possibly there are things that you have figured out that you... Sorry about that, I had to change my battery. So I think I was saying that this, I learned from your comments, and of course this channel is about learning and sharing and all of us growing together. So let me get started with my 10 tips for keeping your feet happy. And if you are new here, I invite you to be a subscriber. And if you are returning, thank you for being back with me today. So let's get started with one of my long-term favorite things, and that is shoe stretchers. I have a very wide foot, and so these are some shoe stretchers, I'm having a hard time saying it, that I probably bought 10 or 15 years ago, and they work perfectly fine. Where the problem came in with these wasn't the fact that it had a plastic little stretcher little piece to make it wider. The problem came in that the actual components inside are plastic, and I actually stripped the plastic inside. So these are more just for light duty stretching at this point, but I did probably about, I don't know, 9 months to a year ago buy another new stretcher. It was a little bit more expensive, so with that one I got 2 pair. With this one I only got 1, so I have to stretch one at a time. And I will list all this information down below. If it's something you can get on Amazon, I will put a link to it. Otherwise, I will let you know where I got it. But this, I always want to call it Bulldog, but I think it's actually Hounds Bay is the brand, possibly. These happen to have a metal gear inside, which is very nice. The little pads are metal, but again, like I said, I didn't have a problem with the plastic ones breaking. I just really need a heavy duty shoe stretcher because I have a heavy duty large foot, I guess would be my issue. So you've got to have some good shoe stretchers, because even the smallest amount of pinch really does wear on you and you feel them. And I think there used to be an old saying, you know, if you wear shoes that hurt, then you won't think about a headache, a toothache, or anything else. Well, I don't want to think about my shoes and feet hurting, because that just really gets old very quickly. So just as a shoe that is too big for you is almost dangerous because you could walk out of it and hurt yourself, a shoe that is too small is the same way. So that is tip number 1. Tip number 2, and I've already showed you a video of this and talked more about it in regards to handbags and belts, but also shoes, and that would be a rain and stain repellent. And I did a little test, and I'll put that in the cards for you, of 2 of these products, which is Apple brand as well as liquid proof, which is more of a little spray bottle type. But then I had a third one that I could not find when I was doing the test, and it is actually kiwi, and it's Protect All Waterproofer. Protects against water, rain, snow, dirt, soil, and salt. So that in particular would be great for shoes, especially if you live in the north where you're going to be getting snow and salt. Of course, I'm in Texas, so we don't get a lot of snow and salt, although it has been more recently, but we do get lots of dirt and soil. So those are good items to use just to protect your leather shoes. And again, if you let your leather shoes get wet, then you can actually make the leather more stiff and uncomfortable, or the leather could shrink, or the leather could stretch if you're wearing them while they're wet. So it is good to try to keep as much moisture out, just again to protect your leather shoes. These things are not tongue twisters, but apparently they are for me. Item number 3 that I've just recently started using, and the brand that is my favorite, I cannot get on YouTube, on Amazon right now. So I went with this other brand called Pedag. The brand that I like is actually, it may be Bionic, or Ortho Heels. Anyway, I will link it down below. But these are just little pads that are kind of moon shaped that you can stick into there's a little sticky part, so you can actually stick it into your shoe if you need more arch support. And many shoes do require additional arch support. So these are nice because they're leather. You know what, the brand of the other ones, if it wasn't Bionic, it might have been Taco, T-A-C-C-O. But let me look, and again, look below, and I will give you all the details. But these are just something nice to have. Now, this one, as you can tell, it's not really the support that many of us need. Right here is where it's hollow, and that's kind of where most of us need it bumped up. I do have a different brand here that I think I got at CVS called Fancy Feet. And the problem with these is they're kind of a foamy type thing, so it has a lot of give. Well, I don't need any give. I need like more like this and the other brand that I have, where it's a very rigid support. But that does help give you the extra support that you can get more from orthotic shoes, but you can, maybe salvage some of other types of shoes that you might need to wear. I know it's hard for me. My new favorite pair of shoes is Bionics, and unfortunately I wear a small wide foot. I probably for Bionic would be wearing a 5.5 wide. Well, A, they don't make 5.5, and B, they don't make wides apparently in nice dress shoes or evening shoes. So I have to figure out ways around that with shoes that I can purchase or shoes I already own. So these little jobbers have been life-saving, because from my podiatrist, I did buy a leather insert called a Taco, T-A-C-C-O, that was long enough to go in my shoe. The problem with that is I have a wide foot, so I don't need anything in the ball of my feet taking up space. So these are the perfect little thing if you can get the good ones that will be below. Now, if you just need a little bit of support, these would be great, because again, it's that nice leather, it's rigid, and it glues in. So I will list these as well below. So item number 4 are Bombas socks, and I am in love with these for a lot of reasons. I have a very tiny foot, so I have had problems through the years finding a little no-show sock that was small enough for my feet. Normally they would be so long that there would be extra that I needed to turn down at the toe or turn down at the back. So Bombas has these in all sorts of different sizes. It does have that little rubbery piece so that they don't slip around on your foot. And I have loved them. So that was a new find that I've just had recently. But I have been wearing, my husband gave me some Bombas for Christmas, and he gave me more of the athletic kind. And these actually have a little padding in them. So, you know, as we age, it seems that padding on the bottom of our foot seems to disappear, while in my case, padding around my middle appears. But these really do help provide a little bit of extra comfort. They also have this woven honeycomb section kind of around the arch area, again, just to try to provide a little more support for you. So they are expensive, but I will say if you haven't checked out Bombas, it's a good place to start for a variety of different needs. And the reason that this sort of thing is so important, again, you don't want to wear a sock that doesn't fit, because I know on these no-show liners, if I wear something big, it's going to move around during the day and feel very uncomfortable, or slip off is a very common thing, so that the entire sock by the end of the day is down at the toe of my shoe. So it's just so much better, more comfortable, and better for your feet if you can have socks that actually fit. And I am sure, just as my feet are extra small and need help, those who have big feet can find some good sizes with Bombas as well. So item number, and they do have lots of different colors, men's, women's, kids, all that. So a lot of variety there. You can still get some fun. You know, if you like to express yourself in socks, you can still get some fun socks through Bombas. So item number 5 would be any kind of a shoe liner, and I've already mentioned the tacos, and I know I've put those in a pair of shoes and cannot think of which ones. I think it might have been a boot. So if I can find those, I will slip those in. If I can find them on Amazon, I'll put those below. But these are just various ones that I've purchased on Amazon or picked up if I am at the dollar store and see any kind of foot stuff, then I go ahead and get it, just because I go through so many of these that it's just always good to see what is out there. So this is actually a kind of a sticky, although the little liner for it is coming off and sticky over here, but it's a gel insert for your heel. Again, if you're having heel problems, it's nice to try something that can help provide extra support. This is another kind, and when I bought these, I wasn't even having heel issues. I still had a lot of padding on my feet, but I would say in the last month, my poor heels are even starting to hurt. So a similar sort of thing. It will glue into the bottom of your shoe, but just provide extra cushion to your heel. This is the Dr. Scholl's brand, same sort of thing that would stick into your shoe and give support. There are tongue liners if your tongue of your shoes hurt. There's glue up here at the top. This is more a almost like a cottony sort of thing, and this is not a shoe with a tongue, obviously, but you could actually, if it's bothering the top of your foot, glue it into a good old-fashioned shoe or tennis shoe that has a tongue on it. And then there are small liners for the ball of your feet. This is another cushiony one that would glue in. This is just a little cork one to give you more grip in your shoe. So lots of different things like that can provide you extra comfort. And I guess in my case, since I'm really short, this would make me just a hair bit taller too. So all sorts of benefits, I would say, from those items. Item number 6 would be my good old-fashioned Bionics. And again, like I said, I do not wear a size 6 wide in Bionic. I wear a 5.5, which they don't make. So I have added heel liners in this pair of shoes just so they don't slip on the back of my foot, because that too will give you a blister, and it's just not pretty, not comfortable either. And a lot of Bionics come with this insert in them, and again, you can see the extra arch support you get. You may possibly need extra arch support, which I guess you could put an extra something there, but for me, what comes with it does tend to work and provides all day comfort for me. So these, of course, are a wide, so they're made wider to accommodate the liner. So that's where the difference comes in. I can use a full shoe liner in these, whereas in another brand of shoe that isn't built that way, that wouldn't really work. And then of course Bionics make all sorts of things. And this is a pair of little slip-on athletic shoes that I like to run around town in. This is a pair of flip-flops, again, that gives that extra arch support, but this is what I wear when I get my toes done at the manicure pedicure place. So Bionics, I have not had any bad luck with them, other than, as I mentioned, it is really hard to get work shoes, and because I have such a small foot, I can't wear a very high heel, or I would literally be standing on the ball of my foot. So when I try to buy their version of high heel, like boot for instance, it is over 3 inches, and 3 inches is as high as I can go. So if you see me tottering along in high heels, you will know I couldn't get it in 3 inches or under. So next on my list would be, well, let me go ahead and mention heel liners. Here's a couple of different kinds that are different than what I have in this shoe, but it's all primarily the same. It's a thick liner, little bit of thick liner that actually tapes into the back of the heel to prevent your heels from slipping or having a gap in your shoes. Some of us, if we have different lengths of feet, may need them in one shoe, not the other. For me, it's an overall. These shoes are just a half size too big, and 5s are of course too small, so it makes a pair of 6s workable for me. But these are something I have used for years and years. It just helps prevent also that little bit of blister you're going to get if your shoe is sliding on the back of your foot. Used to, you could usually ask at the shoe store if they had liners and if they would throw a pair in for you if your shoes were slipping or gapping. I don't know if that's the truth anymore, and I don't know which stores it would be. So you might want to ask. It wouldn't hurt to ask, because then you don't have to go on in search of these little boogers. I will put, I think I got these at CVS, but these I got on Amazon, so I will put these below, and these if I can find them, and these if I can find them. Next up would be sole stickers. I don't know. This is calling them Safe Step sole pads, but these are actually a little sticker you could put in the bottom of your shoe. And I know if you have leather shoes, or a lot of the dress Bionic shoes, as I was saying, a lot of dress Bionic shoes have a sole that is like real plasticky sounding. So when you walk on it, it sounds plasticky. So I plan to put this on the ball of my foot, not because this is going to be slipping like a leather might, especially if it gets wet, or some plastic heels do, or soles do, sorry, but I just don't want that tappy tap tap sound. So this will kind of deaden that sound and just make me feel more confident in my shoes. And of course, if they were tappy tappy tappy, they wouldn't be a shoe I would be reaching for. So these I am excited about, and these are Shoe Gear, and they have a 3M sticker on them, so hopefully they will adhere. Now I will say these are fine, but they used to make them bigger. Maybe it was a different brand, but I do prefer the bigger ones so that the entire ball of your foot would have the same protection. These seem more like a little insert. such as if you like to buy Sarah Flint shoes, there's a little insert in the middle of the ball of the shoe, but it's inserted flush so you don't feel it. This you're gonna feel, or I would anyway, so I do wish it was a little bit bigger, but I will look for that. And then another thing you can do to protect your soles is to use this 3M product. It is just a clear plastic product, and what it does is if you have a leather sole that's going to wear down fairly quickly, this just extends the life. If you like your Christian Louboutin red bottom shoes, this will protect the red. If you've maybe had a custom paint job or the shoes that you have come with a fun sole, this is just going to help to protect it. And I do have a video on how I do that that may be the same as the rain guard video, and if so, I will link it earlier in the video, or I will link the one with has this in it now here in the card somewhere. So this is a good one. Again, it's a product you can buy on Amazon. It's meant to protect the clear coat on your car, but it works perfectly well on shoes as well. And then the last thing that I want to mention about staying comfortable in your shoes, a lot of this does deal with protecting your shoes, because again, the better condition you can keep your shoes in, then the better condition they're going to be for doing what they're meant to do, which is keeping your feet comfortable, protecting your feet, and extending the life of your shoes. So I like to store all of my shoes in their shoe box, which may drive my husband crazy because then he goes and counts how many shoes that I have. But I will tell you why. I love organization, and to me, this just makes it so easy to find a pair of shoes, so that if it's the, really early in the morning and I'm not wanting to turn on the lights and wake my husband up, I can find the shoe box that I need, and I have both pairs of shoes. Also, if you're like me, you may buy, if you find a pair of shoes you like, you may buy it in a couple of colors, and often that would be a dark brown and black, or navy and black, or some dark combination. So it's real easy if you're grabbing a left and grabbing a right, you want to make sure you have the color that goes together. And again, if they're in the shoe box, you know exactly, because it's going to say what color it is, so you don't have to worry that you grab the blue pair even if you did get the matching set. So I just love to have my shoes in a shoe box. Now, they do recommend for a pair of leather shoes. Leather, of course, is a natural fiber. Is it even a fiber? It's a natural material, and it will absorb moisture from your foot. So our feet just naturally sweat. So it is recommended that you leave your shoes out of the box just for, the night maybe, or the rest of the day if you came in at noon, and then put your shoes away in the box or whatever it may be. I like to use the original box. That just helps me find what I'm looking for quicker. A lot of people will put them in the hanging bags or in the plastic see-through boxes. That's fine too. I just like to use the space I can't reach with a stack of shoe boxes. But anyway, you may want to let your leather dry before you put them away in the box or in something plastic, just so that they can dry out before they're stored away. Of course, if you put it in a cardboard box, it's going to be a little more breathable than if you put it in a plastic container. So keep that in mind. So I believe I have covered all 10 of my tips to keep your feet comfortable. And of course, that really is the name of the game, I think. Some people are very lucky if their foot just wears a shoe off the rack and they don't have discomfort or plantar fasciitis or bunions or arthritis or any of the things that some of us have going on in their feet. So those folks may not need this information, but it's always good still to protect your investments in your shoes. So there's some good takeaways here as well. So if you have other ideas for me, if you would, please leave it below so that I can learn along with everyone else watching. And thank you again for spending your time with me today. If you would, please give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you back next time with another new video. Bye.